Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton. I am the Inventor Lady, also President and CEO of Archimedes Offspring. So a lot of our videos reach out to both groups of inventors, the ones that are just getting through the process and the other ones who want funding for getting through the process. And so today we're talking a little bit about, how that cart and the horse line up. It doesn't work well when your horse is behind the cart. Same way in inventing, everybody. It doesn't work well when you get things out of sync. And I see it happen on a regular basis. And for a lot of inventors, it's like because you do what you enjoy doing on that part of it. So I get a lot of inventors who just spend way too much time messing around with the prototype, even to the point of hiring engineers and doing, rapid prototype. And it's like, oh, it's not right just yet. Bad move. All right. You've definitely got the cart and the horse mixed up. So take a look at the Inventor's Galaxy Guide. All right, it's on my website. It's free. You download it, you open it up, 30 minutes, kind of where you fall in that inventing realm, the money that you're looking at spending, what some of the options are. All right, so that said, now hopefully you will understand, this next step. Most often what I see as far as the cart before the horse is when inventors are messing around with the prototype before they take some of the other steps. I already said that once, but sometimes you need to hear it again. I know I hate it when people repeat stuff to me, so I try not to do that. But this one's an important one. Time is not your friend when it comes to inventing. It's just not. All right, first to file. So when you've solved a problem and you've had your aha moment and you spend way too much time tinkering around with nuances of the prototype instead of filing a provisional patent application. Once you go to file, sometimes you find out somebody filed 2 days before you or a month before you, and that is just gut-wrenching. So what I tell people is like, do your own version of a prototype, duct tape and cardboard, whatever is easy. If you can go and buy one at, Walmart or Home Depot that's fairly inexpensive, take it apart, put it back together again with your improvements, by all means, that's great. All right. Do as much looking around as you can yourself. Google products, think how could your technology be used someplace else, get into the USPTO database, start taking a look, understand what the steps are. All right. And then the first thing you pay for is the comprehensive independent search. $499. It includes the US by classification, the international search, and a product search. All right. It is really important to understand that there is a legitimate 2.5-year blind spot at the USPTO that no one can access. All right. Well, the only way to start closing that gap is to see, who's selling online, who posted something, a video on YouTube. What is somebody else doing as far as a trade show? A lot of times the product is actually out there under patent pending status before it's ever visible to someone doing a search. So we try to close those gaps. All right. What you want to find out, even if you're deciding that you're not going to file any intellectual property, you do not need a patent to go to market. You need the patent to negotiate. All right. I ask people 2 questions. How would you feel if someone knocked it off? And if you don't care, that's fine. You do not need a patent then to go and market. Some people, it's a hobby making something and selling it. All right. It's not a big deal. The other thing is that if you say, all right, somebody's made an offer now to license your intellectual property. They don't license your idea. They license your intellectual property. All right. Your patent. If you say, no, I would never want to license my intellectual property and I don't care if anybody copies me and makes it. You don't need to file a patent to go to market. All right. The patent is what allows you to negotiate. No, you can't do that. It's mine. Or yes, I would really like to see if I can license it. All right. So the next part is you don't want to be infringing on somebody else. And the best way to do that is to have a good search done and then talk to an attorney, a registered patent attorney, not a buddy who's going to law school. All right. Not somebody who's already filed a patent. No, these are important steps. You want to do them in the right order and you want to do it the right way. So no horse pushing the cart down the street. Get it done the right way. So you pay the $499, and that's if SearchQuest is doing the search. There's a lot of other options out there. All right, but you need to make sure US by classification, international search, and a product search. It's got to be all three of those, because without all three of them, you've got a huge hole in the research. So that's the first thing that you really spend money on. When I see people, they're using an engineer, they're using rapid prototype, they're spending they take classes for rapid prototyping. They buy the rapid prototype machine, for goodness sakes. All right. If you want to take a class, by all means, take a class, but don't make your intellectual property or your product, your aha moment, dependent on you taking a 3-week Saturday class to learn how to do rapid prototyping. Pay the engineer to do it when it's time. All right. So you've got your search done. You've talked to an attorney. He says, okay, this is where you can file. Here's your sweet spot. Now you take what came back in the search and what the attorney says to the engineer. They cannot read your mind. If you take to them what the attorney gives you and says, all right, he said to take this part of this one, which now they've expired, they're part of the public domain. You can't claim them, but you can start with them as far as saying, all right, and make these improvements. Most patents these days are improvements on existing products, which is great because the consumer understands them. Like the example I always use, everybody knows that a flashlight is the light coming out of the end of the stick. The guy who invented the one that wraps around a pole, very cool, okay? And filed a patent. There you go. So when you're looking at this, right, understand first to file is the winner, right? You don't want to miss it by a few weeks or even a few months when you've been working in the garage on your idea. Get at least the provisional patent application filed. You say, well, it's not perfect yet. It doesn't need to be for the provisional. You'll be able to make changes. And, a good patent does not have a lot of details. All right. It is not size specific, material specific, or industry specific. I had some guys that had a patent. And they said, well, we want to make it out of something that's biodegradable. Well, that would be cool. But your patent attorney said in the patent it was made out of aluminum. So you're kind of stuck with that. All right. No, it should be made out of something like, but not limited to. So it opens up if a new material comes out, in the next 3 years, that you're not obsolete right away. So this is where the good registered patent attorney comes into play. You want to make sure that you're as broad as possible. That gives you then some room to work when you're doing the provisional patent application. Well, it's not exactly right yet. You've got an entire year to get it exactly right. And there's a lot of times that those specific things still don't go into the patent. All right. Size, dimensions, ratios make sense, but not size, dimensions. Does the door open from the left or the right or the top or the bottom? Doesn't matter. The door opens. All right. Those are the things that your attorney is going to help you with, so that when you go then to the engineer and the engineer said, well, it'll cost less if we make the door open this way, still covered by the patent. All right. When you use a good registered patent attorney, they make allowances for those kind of the tug and pull of the design work. All right. If not, he can add it to the non-provisional or the utility when he gets ready to file it for you. So pay attention to the time frames. All right. Understand that time is not your friend when it comes to inventing. And for goodness sakes, do things in the right darn order. All right. Get the Inventor's Galaxy Guide. It talks about the right process, the way the pendulum swings, and it's going to help keep you on track. If you get things out of order, back up and fix it. And I had some young inventors at my meeting when I was out on the East Coast, and I go, you spent a lot of time working on this. It is just going to kick you in the gut if you find out somebody else filed a patent on a similar product 2 months ago. So get the steps done right. Get your search done, get your provisional done, and then you get yourself ready with the design work. All right. Because now you can give parameters to the engineer. You know that you've got time. Pay attention to the steps. Horse first. My name is Rita Crompton. I am the Inventor Lady, and I'm here to make sure that you stay on the right track. Talk to you tomorrow.